Welcome to the return of Slasher Sunday. We watched like 10 slasher movies in a row, and we are here to talk about some of them week to week. And we're going to front load and record the shit out of a ton of these so that we can start posting Slasher Sundays. So, let's talk about Night School. I think this was the last one we watched.
Yeah, that's good.
So the most recent.
Most recent. So yeah. The best memory.
And the one I took notes on. I did not take notes on any of the others, but I'm going to retroactively take notes on them before we record them. So anyways, Night School. We got a kind of a precursor, I think. I'm pretty sure. This is like 81, I want to say. And Nightmare Beach is later, a good amount later, I want to say. So this has a very similar kind of look and to the killer. Except this killer does not have an electrified motorcycle that it kills people with.
No. Spoilers for the other.
That's not a spoiler.
No?
No, that's just the weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be like saying Michael Myers has a butcher knife.
Well, okay, I didn't know if that was like a aha, like this is what's killing. I don't know.
I guess it could be. Watch Nightmare Beach, aka Welcome to Spring Break. So yeah, I really liked this one a lot. We get this really cool opening. I really liked the way this one was filmed. It kind of had this gritty crime drama feel to it, like a French Connection, Serpico, like that kind of like mid 70s, late 70s, De Palma-esque.
It reminded me of Law and Order, like just a standard like.
You need to watch more like 70s cinema, man. You need to watch,
I do.
And even like 80s. You need to watch like Scarface. You need to watch French Connection, as I said. You need to watch Serpico. You need to watch, like, those are the kinds of films. Like, you got to watch like the 70s crime, gritty drama thrillers.
Yeah. There's
some really rad ones. I got to show you more De Palma. But this kind of has that feel to it, and I love that.
Plus Law and Order.
I don't know about the Law and Order shit. And this is so 80s, and Law and Order is like not at all.
I don't know.
I don't know where you're getting that, because there's a cop investigating every fucking.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It just came into my head.
Okay.
That's what it reminded me of.
Hey, we say what comes into our head on this channel, and I'm totally fine with that.
Being honest.
Yes. All right. So, essentially, this movie is like, it's about a killer that's going around and killing these girls, and this detective's put on the case, and he gets all fancy schmancy with all of his college knowledge.
His college knowledge, his fancy schmancy.
He has a partner who's like shitting on him because he's using his college knowledge to point out that multiple severed heads now have been submerged in water. And his partner's like, now don't get all smarty pants college guy on me. And he's like, I'm literally just like being a detective.
It's like, I'm just observing.
I'm just observing and talking to you about
what
I'm seeing that's obvious. And by like the fourth victim that's head submerged in water, he's kind of like, all right, maybe there's a pattern to this. It's like, bro.
I don't know why he's so, like, I don't know why that character is written to be so obstinate towards college knowledge.
Because, like, he's this working class stiff who sticks his nose up at educated folk. Because he wasn't gifted that kind of, opportunity.
I get that. I guess it's just funny to me because it's like, the other, like, the detective that is a learned man is not, like, particularly, like, snobby about it.
Not at all.
Like, he's just trying to be a detective, as we've said, so I don't know why he wouldn't be grateful to have, like, those kinds of eyes, on the case. Like, maybe he'll help solve it quicker or whatever. Instead, he's kind of just like, nah.
I love that about the movie, though. That's what I love about it. I really love, I was super into this movie.
It has a buddy cop feel for sure at times, which is definitely interesting. And we'll get to the ending, because the ending is the most, like, what the fuck buddy cop thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the movie too. I guess I probably wasn't as into it as you were.
It's because I love this kind of cinema.
But I really enjoyed it. It's definitely, of all the movies we watched, like, it was one of the better acted and written ones by far. Oh, God. So I definitely appreciated that.
No, man. Blood Harvest was Academy Award winning. To be continued. All right. But yeah, essentially, the whole... Spoilers, obviously, for the film. This whole thing comes down to, like, there's some college where girls can't catch a break, where they're like being banged by their professor, and then they're going to like the dean to cry about it, who's a woman, and then the dean is taking advantage of them in their emotional weakness, like in their emotional state.
There's this one girl that seriously is like, he was this college professor, like I didn't know he was cheating on his wife or his girlfriend with me, and then the dean is just like, why don't you just come over to my house? And like literally the next scene she's like in bed with her. And this poor girl, oh man.
Yeah, it's one of those scenarios, right? Like you've got the man-hating lesbian who's like shitting on men and being like, well, why don't you just come home with me, darling? Like us women need to stick together and men are so awful. And then she's doing the exact same shit as the guy. Yeah,
she's just as manipulative and gross in the situation. Like, they're both taking advantage.
I love this, though. I love this in the movie because this is very real. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not always men that are doing this shit. So
yeah, women can take advantage, of course.
To see a girl get taken advantage of, and then the person who's, like, coming in like, no, honey, like, I get it. I'm one of you. And then she's the one that's also taking advantage of her when she's already been taken advantage of is even worse.
It's awful.
Right? Because what the guy did is not good. What the dean is doing is even worse. Because she's coming to her in this fragile emotional state of like, I just got taken advantage of. It would be like raping a girl after she'd been raped. Right, like finding her in an alley, and she's like, "Can you help me?" And you're like, "I'm gonna rape you too."
Yeah, right? Honestly, it's like, they're both really shitty.
They're both shitty. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that she's already completely compromised at that point.
Yeah,
right. Like this guy, it's a totally different kind of thing. But for someone to come at you when they're broken, and you to take advantage of them when they're broken, is because they're an even easier target.
Yeah.
They're already vulnerable. They've already been taken advantage of. So they're like so fragile. They're so emotionally compromised in that state that you're coming in and you're sliding in when they're fucking like that broken.
Yeah.
That's even worse. I'm not taking away from what the guy did. Now, I don't know what the conversation was between them. I don't know what their relationship was like. I got to see what happened between them and the dean, so maybe this is why I see it so much worse, is because I actually got to see that go down. I don't know what that dude was saying, but the dude's clearly a piece of shit. He's got his girlfriend at home who's in love with him. It's not like they have some like terrible relationship and they're stuck together and he's like, no. Their relationship is great. She's gorgeous. The whole thing is fine.
Yeah, she's his assistant, so she's like invested in his research and everything too.
Sure, and like, she's in the class with all the girls that he's banging behind her back.
Oh my god, it's so awful.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious. I mean, I pegged her from like 20 minutes in. I was like, oh, she's the killer. She's killing because she's pissed off that he's banging all these girls. And it's like, yes, exactly. So it's pretty easy to figure out what the twist is. Not much of a twist. And then once she's like gonna get caught, I was like, oh, he's gonna go off in the helmet. And I told her right at the beginning, like 20 minutes in, I was like, they put on the biker helmet and the clothes to be baggy so that the killer could be more androgynous.
Yes.
Right? I was like, this is to hide their femininity.
Their body. Yes. Yeah. And it's funny because I don't even think this happened in a lot of the movies that we watched, but for some reason it just seemed very like typical that it would be a woman instead of a man doing the killing. Yeah. I don't know why I was feeling that with this film, but I was like really unimpressed with, I mean, her motivation is fine. I get it. She's pissed off because he's cheating on her with all these other girls. Like, I totally understand, and she's crazy, of course. Like, she shouldn't be killing the girls. She should just kill him. That's what I think. But for some reason, I was, like, really unimpressed with just her being the killer. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, cool.
I mean, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Right? That's really what it comes down to. And you shouldn't kill people.
No, you shouldn't. Okay. But why did she kill them? She's killing them instead of him. Like,
because she's so protecting her family.
I know.
Due to the rituals that have been performed for thousands of years, and it's us Westerners that are weird because we don't. So she says.
Yeah.
So she says.
Yeah.
Because they both are studying this kind of like Aboriginal tribe that has some like custom where like dudes are crawling under women as they're giving birth and something like that. I honestly I can't follow like what exactly her logic of like cutting these girls' heads off and submerging them in water does. I know that cutting the head off of your enemy is supposed to give you their like essence, soul, power, but also it like cleanses their spirit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's something about cleansing their spirits or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, but she does it to protect her family because she's pregnant. She finds out she's pregnant. She doesn't want to, she wants to keep it. She wants to have a family. These girls are getting in the way. So she goes and she offs them. I feel like the girl that goes to the dean's house, who's getting sexually assaulted by the dean, who was manipulated into sex by her professor, gets the rawest deal in the movie.
Yeah.
It is, and then the opening kill I really enjoyed. The carousel.
That was really cool.
He's like, or she's spinning it faster and faster and bringing the knife and like bringing it up and down.
It's really, really mean.
I think that's called a Boeing knife. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it that's a really tense, cool scene where she's like, she doesn't know what to do.
She's like trying to dodge it. So yeah, that would be scary, especially if you're going like, because I don't know, you've been on those before, right? Like when you go fast, like the force, like it's hard to move your body.
Sure. And then someone's like putting a knife in front of you.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that was cool. And she uses his motorcycle, of course, to kind of make us think that it's him. Mm-hmm. But I was always like, no, it's her. And we get this like really weird scene, where the detective goes to his girlfriend's house and starts like rubbing her body down with this like red scrub he got from like fucking like,
wasn't the
Bath
detective.
And Body Works.
It's the professor and the assistant. His girlfriend.
Oh, that would make more sense then, because they're doing some weird practice that they learned over in that country.
Could not figure out what the red stuff was. I thought it was like a pomegranate at some point. I thought it was like fruit.
You're right, it is them. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and they're like...
Because they're doing like some weird practice that they learned over there. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a detective for some reason.
That would be so weird. I would have no idea what that meant.
Okay. Yeah. We watched too many movies in a row.
We watched a lot of them.
We've even watched like 7 movies since we watched this one, so. I know. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good. Boobs. We do get boobs. In that shower scene. That's he's rubbing shit all over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, do we?
I always just write down if we get boobs in the movie or not. That's it. Because it's a slasher movie and it's important. And in this one, we definitely do. How'd you like the drawn out like scene where maybe we're gonna find the head at some point?
Oh my god, that scene in the kitchen. Okay, first of all, before we even talk about that, these guys that come in.
No, you can call them what you want it.
They're assholes.
Yeah.
These asshole guys that come into, like, literally the cook comes in, he opens the door and like the restaurant's like a mess, there's like chairs tipped over and he's like, what the hell, like what happened here? The asshole dudes come in right after and they're like, hey,
literally the second this guy gets there in the morning at like 6 a.m.
like, where's the food? Get us some food.
Where's the food?
And then the guy's like, all right, hold on, give me a
They
second.
literally watched him walk in.
Yeah.
And then they're like, where's the food? When the whole place is trashed, and at no point do they like worry that there was like a struggle, maybe something happened because the girl's missing.
No, they're like, we'll put the chairs back up, go get us some food.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine. And
literally
he goes,
like 1 minute later.
1 minute later, they're like complaining about why they don't have food yet.
Why is there no
Where's
food?
the coffee? Where's the food? They're so annoying, and I cannot believe how many times they demand food from this guy.
And how many times they fake us out, making it seem like the head's going to be somewhere.
Yeah, and then that happens, which was pretty funny.
They draw that on for like at least 5 straight minutes. Like, it was crazy.
Like
5 minutes doesn't sound like a long time.
It was a long time.
In a scene like that, that's a long time.
I honestly don't hate that. To be honest, I think it was okay because like there was a lot of tension. Like it just after it wasn't in the soup because like one of the guys gets like a chunk of hair, like a huge chunk of hair,
which is hilarious.
Which is gross because it's like so that's the head wasn't even in there. Like
Correct.
that's just a hair that's
just
in
hair.
there.
That's what's so funny about that scene to me is that he pulls and you're like, oh, so the head's got to be in there, and when it's not in there, I'm like, so your food's just that shitty. Like the hair was just in there.
Yeah. And then everything after that, you're just like, where the hell is this head at?
Like, if the waitress didn't get killed, right?
Yeah.
And they just went to work the next day.
Yeah.
Somebody would have gotten that much hair in their food.
Yes.
Like, that food, that is not from the head.
I also don't understand, like, why he switches it into a new pot. Like, after they find the hair, he, like, goes back and takes,
because
like,
he's looking for the hair.
But what?
He's like straining it out to see if he can find it. Yeah, he's just looking through it little by little.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I feel like
that's what he's doing.
You wouldn't see. I guess if it was clumps of hair, you would see clumps of hair, but like you wouldn't be able to tell if there was just like hair in it.
I mean, realistically, why is he doing it? So that we can be made to believe he's going to find the head.
Yeah.
But that's the explanation in the film, is that he is looking for hair. Or he's transferring it to a new pot because it's been sitting in the other one all night. And he's trying to make it fresher. Getting all the clumps and everything that are around the side off.
I like the head in the sink though, when he finally goes there and he's like draining it and we're just watching it drain for so long.
So long.
But it looks creepy, like with the water like slowly going down. He's just like staring and he's like, oh shit.
I did like the waitress, even though she's wearing a ridiculous wig, and somehow the killer is carrying the head by the wig, and the wig is not falling off when we know it's a fucking wig.
Yeah.
It's a wig.
Yeah.
It's 100% a wig. But I did like that the waitress, and this is why she got killed.
Yeah.
Is because she told the girl what was up. When the boyfriend left, she's like, if you believe that shit, honey, you believe any shit. Like, bullshit.
Gosh. Yeah.
She was like, just outright telling her, like, your dude's a liar.
Yes.
And you need to leave him. But she's like, she's a waitress, and she's just kind of, she's she has a very straightforward candor to her.
Yeah, she's candid, yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And she gets herself killed by saying that.
It's a bummer.
Which is a bummer, but I thought that was funny when it happened. And it makes it seem like there's like 75 suspects for like a minute. I was like, oh well, maybe it could be the principal, Dean. Oh, I guess it could be this person. I guess it could be this person. I was on that for literally like a minute or two. Because I even wrote down like so many suspects, and then I put for a minute, because right after that I was like, no, it's the assistant.
Yeah.
Like, but it really does try to set up like, no, there could be like 50 killers. Right. And it's like, no, because like all the girls who are being used could be it. Right. So you definitely have that going on in here. And there is this really weird scene. It's like an editing error kind of thing where the killer goes to slash someone's head off. They like bring down the knife, and it does that like triple edit where it shows the knife being brought down 3 different times. It's not 3 different chops. It's the same chop shown 3 different times for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And when the knife comes down, it doesn't make a neck wound at all all 3 times, but then the head's decapitated.
It's so weird. Yeah, that
It's
is just
like,
an editing issue.
what was that? Didn't even cut her.
Yeah.
Let alone cut a head off.
It was so fast. They cut her without any blood coming out.
So stupid.
Super sharp.
So funny.
It's like those kills in anime.
Yeah. Right.
Where they're just like all of a sudden sliced in half.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, as far as the gore goes, you just get severed heads.
Pretty much.
That's the gore in the film, but I like them. And we also watched Alone in the Dark this week, and in that movie we get the old hockey mask that people used to wear in hockey that covers the full face. We see it in Alone in the Dark. Clark Griswold wears it in Christmas Vacation. It's even featured kind of like on the one of the Friday the 13th posters. So yeah, this mask popped up in here, and I was like, oh shit, I've seen that mask a lot at this point. So, but that is not the same hockey mask that Jason wears. But yeah. And then let's see, what else do we got? There's a scene where there's a Peeping Tom who they go to confront because he's been seen at the victim's, locations as they've died. And then the college-educated guy comes up there, and they go to question him. And 2 interesting things to say on that. Number 1, the guy has a bunch of pictures of naked chicks up all over his wall, but Post-it notes over their vaginas. Yes. I don't know if that's for the film's rating, or if we're trying to say that's something towards him where he's like uncomfortable with the vagina.
I don't know. I felt like it was for the rating.
Yeah, because it's not like it's in the background, you could barely see it.
Right, like you only noticed it because you're like looking.
They didn't like draw attention to it.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, why not just pick pictures with just chicks with their tits out? Why do you have to pick one with a vagina? Like, there's tons of Playboys, hustlers. Like, it's not that hard to find just titty pictures. Like, why'd you have to put a vagina up on the wall and then put Post-it notes over it? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know.
Or like cut it off where the vagina is,
sure.
right?
I don't know.
So weird to me to see that.
It's bizarre.
Secondly, the detective who went to college, the educated one, outright just says, like, no, he's a flasher. Like, he's a Peeping Tom. Like, they're never the killer.
And you're just
and it's like, what?
What? That's like literally like one of the first things.
That's like how they start. They start as voyeurs.
100%.
Right?
Because they're not supposed to be doing it, and then it gets like them excited, and yeah.
Peeping Toms are never killers. What?
I mean, Peeping Toms, we could say Peeping Toms aren't always killers.
Oh, of course not.
But they are always creeps.
But to say that like, oh yeah, no, he's just a Peeping Tom. He's just a flasher.
Yeah.
Like, they're not killers. It's
so
like,
weird.
What?
I don't know why it would
Based
say
on
that.
what?
Right.
What college did you go to? Clown college? Clown. I don't understand that one. I thought that was super stupid.
Yeah.
And let's see. These 2 girls get killed. The dean and the girl who can't catch a break, they get killed with 2 cops like right outside.
Oh my god.
I'm like, wow,
right
this is some shitty police work right here. This, of course, is just for a visual, and we're not supposed to be able to see it, but when the motorcycle chase is happening, they go down an alleyway, and there's just a ramp right there for them to hit to jump.
Yeah.
I was like, are we supposed to see that ramp?
No.
Or is that just supposed to be a cool thing where the bike leaves the ground? And then for some reason, the boyfriend who pretends to be the killer, he drives like head on into the car. I guess he was shot, you said, right?
Yeah, I think he is shot, and that's what makes him like drive in, and then he flips over it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
The detective does not buy this, and he goes and confronts the girl And he
at
the funeral he's just like, nah, I know you did it, but like there's nothing I can do. And she's like, peace. Like, cool. And then she walks off, and I'm like, okay, like, I like that. That's a cool ending. And she walks off, and I thought credits are gonna roll. Oh no, the credits didn't roll.
They did not.
We then got one of the most ridiculous endings I've ever seen in a film in my entire life, and I am pretty much in love with it because of how fucking insane it actually is. So, tell us what happens.
So we follow the detective back to his office, and then he leaves work, goes out into the garage, gets in his car, and behind him in the seat is the motorcycle mask, the headhunter.
And he starts attacking
him. And the detective's like turning to try and like fight him off.
A detective who carries a gun.
Yes.
Is already kind of at the ready for not only being a cop, but also because he knows that killer's still on the loose.
Yes.
And that killer would be coming from him because he just confronted her in public.
Yes.
And was like, I know you're the killer. So
right.
He's like ready for her at any moment. And
instead, it's his freaking partner who's like pranking him.
Yeah, it's a practical joke.
And he like laughs.
They both laugh.
Yes,
they both think it's hilarious.
What the hell? There's no way.
And then the credits roll.
And that's it. He's like, who were you expecting? The headhunter?
Yeah, and they both laugh their ass off. And it's like, the killer's still out there. You realize, like...
It's like, he was expecting the headhunter.
Tons of chicks were murdered.
It's like, she's still there. Like, she still is not in prison. She's alive. It's such a funny ending. Because it totally... Like, it does take away a lot of the weight of the film that it was going for. Like, if it had ended with her walking away, as you said, like, it would have been kind of a dark ending of, like, wow, she gets away. And, like, she does still get away, but then it's just, like, random joke.
Sure, we didn't get the killer. And a bunch of people died. Ha 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 ha. Credits.
Yeah.
What? This is such an insane ending.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
I love it. I love it because it is so out there.
Yeah.
And I would never expect any film to ever end like this. Like,
no.
Do you imagine, like, at the end of, like, Halloween?
I was just going to say.
Like, freaking Michael Myers
like in the
pops
car.
up behind Laurie and starts attacking her, and then Loomis pulls off the mask, and he's like, who'd you think I was? The boogeyman? And she's like, and credits roll? Do you imagine? I mean, that's literally this ending.
That is what it is. Oh my god, I want to see that. We need to make that ending for Halloween.
Yeah. Halloween 13 night school. I'm kind of enamored.
Yeah.
With this ending.
It's great. It's a great ending.
It's so insane. Would I think this was a great ending in a modern movie?
No.
Where I was like really into it, and
God.
It only works because it's the 80s.
Yes, it's the 80s, and it's already kind of like this, it's not even a ridiculous film, it's just an 80s film. It's like a very typical one.
It's the fact that the killer's still out there that blows my mind.
I know.
Like if they killed the killer,
and
then his buddy did that to him, that I would be like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, he's still jumpy? Like, we got that guy.
Right.
But it's like, he knows that he thinks that the other person's the killer and still out there.
No, so it's like a shitty joke.
He could have gotten killed. This is the thing I keep pointing out, though, that I didn't outright say.
Yeah, he
This guy has a gun on him, and he would have immediately...
Oh my god, absolutely.
Like, that guy put his life... I mean, how hardcore are you with your pranks?
Yeah.
Okay? Are you willing to risk your life?
No.
Because this guy is.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's that. Night School. What a memorable movie.
College knowledge.
Wow. Moving on.
Bye.